Say less. You ain't got, you ain't go. Say less.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. It's hard to imagine this not being a fun game to watch. It's the Buccaneers going up against the Redskins. With that, it's time to hook up with our commentators in the booth as we turn it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
They'll need to get the play off quickly. The numbers for him from a week ago: 10 carries, 59 yards.
I can't remember the last time we did a game and a coach didn't talk about establishing the run first. But they've lost 2 straight games, so they still want to do that. But they've got to have some contingencies, some other options. Expect them maybe to throw it a little bit to open up things and maybe run it a little bit more later in the game.
Second down, Winston. Space to maneuver at the 40. He's got the hook up to Odell Beckham. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A very solid gain of 27.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the second and the third levels. You know, get to the linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which help to keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. And he'll get about 3 as he's brought down to the 28. You know, projections for him were a little all over the board. Some saw him as a day 3 pick, maybe a little bit higher, but here he is, round 3.
I do know teams that had him listed as a first-round talent. I also had teams that had him listed as a day 3 guy, which is rounds 4 through 7. So him going in the 3rd round kind of fit in the middle. I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder wanting to prove that he should have been taken higher.
Really, it's a solid draft class from a year ago. They were able to address some key weak spots on their team and fill in some holes.
And they were able to identify the players they wanted early in the process. Got a little bit of luck, as some guys may have fallen to them. But for the most part, knew their philosophy and stuck to it.
On 3rd down, Winston. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up. Keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. So they come into enemy territory. Nice drive to start the game, but they probably wanted 6. They only got 3.
I agree with you totally. That's the expectation. When you get the ball and you start moving it and you're rolling, you think you're going to end up in the end zone. But they should be happy with the 3. A good way to get things going here in this game.
And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. They go play action here on first down. This one complete to Jordan Reed. And he takes this one just shy of midfield all the way to the 49. That one goes for 24 yards.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
That's where he, their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
Offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still second down.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Room here to run. And a terrific return as he brings this one all the way back to the 30. And he may want to track down that football, because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
Now a handoff looking right. He winds up getting only a couple there, down to the 29.
Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it, because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
See if they stay on the ground for second down. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. From the gun, Winston. Now he's flushed out left. And he will score. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Jameis Winston, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead. Well, the defensive coverage was good, so good he just decided to make a play of his own, and it worked out.
Yeah, you often wonder if they think to themselves, was the coverage too good to allow him to run the football? I think you'd rather take your chances with him doing exactly that, and he beat him on that play all the way to the end zone.
Time for our first check of the NFL scoreboard. And the Bills have taken the early lead. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. Second down following the run. Again, here's P-Ryan looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. On the defensive side of the ball, we're going to look at the starters for Tampa Bay. And, Charles, how about Vernon Hargreaves?
A pick they were excited to make because in their division, they've got to have guys who can slow down some of the best receivers in the league. And Vernon Hargreaves fits that profile. Very sharp, very intelligent. He operates well on the corner.
On play action, Brissett. And this is going to be incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. This is taken at about the 14. Tampa Bay.
When you've got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy game planning, the special teams coach, but it's also a nightmare for the punter. Sometimes they get so nervous that they mishit the ball and kick it right to him.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. He's got it, and it's 17-0. Well, it's no secret. That's why they have him return punts. He has the capability to take them back, and he did so there. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
Brissett caught left side Hopkins. A gain of 6 there on first. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Second down now after the pass completion. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. And he got half of what he needed there, 2 yards. And it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 more. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well. But when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him. And some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later.
They're up against a 3rd and 2 to start things out.
Let's go! Brad 38!
They'll run again with P-Ryan. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting 3rd down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on 3rd and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up on third down.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle.
Come on, let's go. 38.
They'll try to throw now. Brissett. And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete.
This defense is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Incomplete pass on second down. Let's see what the offense draws up here on third.
Let's go. 190.
Throwing. Brissett. Wide open receiver complete. A good pickup there. 26 yards. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Here's Pirine. Able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Here we go.
Second down, Brissett. His throw incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Here we go. 190.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. It's just short. He got 6 of the 7 he needed, so that leaves a decision here on 4th and a yard.
This team doesn't mind running the ball in any situation, and I thought he was going to get the first down the way the play developed, but the defense closed in and stopped him just about a yard short.
And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3. So this offensive unit, they've now had 3 drives, and they only have 3 points to show for it.
Payoff is the key for everything. How many offenses have we talked to that say we have to finish drives? Thus far, this team hasn't finished it quite the way they wanted to.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Ready. You ready. Flip.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
And to give this time to the tailback. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
Play action now. Winston. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. He's got a man. Complete. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Odell Beckham, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Buccaneers here finding a way to stretch their lead. Well, they went play action there and set it up nicely for him. I mean, he can flat fly, and they hit him downfield.
And it doesn't take much to create that extra bit of space that a guy of his speed needs. If you go play action, all you want is just a moment where the guy's covering, take their attention somewhere else, and then he's by him. And once he's by him, there's no catching him. As they always like to say, if a receiver's even to a defensive back, that means he's leaving.
Unless that DB is Charles Davis, right?
In that case, he left me a long time ago.
Come on now.
Trust me.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Samaje Perine and the offense heading back out there. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. That's going to set him back 5 yards. From the gun, here's Brissett. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Hopkins. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 14 yards there on the pickup, and that'll make it second and short. They go play action with Brissett. Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and the Buccaneers have it.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Here now, time to discuss Odell Beckham Jr. The early returns for him, very good to start this season. Interesting to see if he can keep up that torrid pace.
Man, when you're talking about averaging 100 yards a game as a receiver, extrapolate that over 16 games, and you're having a monster season. So, yeah, you love what he's doing early, but I think it's got to go back to the offseason, doesn't it? It's got to go back to the roots, spending time with the guy who's going to throw them.
And they'll start this drive with very good field position. Winston now after the fumble recovery. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Only a yard on the pickup there. Second and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
Now a second down throw for Winston. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. They get only a yard there. Now it's third and goal. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will have the highlights and analysis of this first half from our studios in Orlando.
And I have a feeling those highlights will be pretty one-sided.
And he's got it. Caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Mike Evans His third touchdown now on the year. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball out of the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Samaje Perine of the offense heading back out there. He's just been looking for some space. Yeah, I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
Here's Brissett. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. We'll give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs. Now a play fake here on first down. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Here comes the D swarming to the line. Throwing again, Brissett on 2nd and 10. And Reed with it over the middle. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. Brissett sets to throw it. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
2nd down following the incompletion. More, it's Brissett. Going down the middle, and it's complete. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. From the red zone now, Brissett. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Alshon Jeffrey, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah,
what happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
And before they can run this 3rd down play, we're going to get a timeout, as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. The Redskins on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Brissett again. He dropped it. Couldn't hang on in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete.
Brandon, some of those windows to throw the football that exist when you're between the 20s, they don't exist when you're this close to the goal line. But as a former DB, I liked it closer to the goal line. Tighter windows made it easier to cover people, actually.
Kick is good. And that drops a deficit from 28 to 25. So the drive takes them inside the 10, but it ends with just 3.
And a nice job defensively to rise up and make sure they didn't get in.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he's going to be stopped dead in his tracks near the 25. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that could change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
A really nice gain of 25 yards. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. Winston now from the 50. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively, because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. A second down throw for Winston. Eluding the pressure right. It's caught at the 10. A big play there just before halftime. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. First down and goal to go from the 7. Again, it's Winston. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. The Bucs forced to use their third and final timeout, as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. Now Jameis on second down. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Jonathan Allen in there to drop him, and sacks on first and second downs are going to lead to a third and long. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting Buccaneers out on top. And we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. So out now come the Redskins. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. They'll run it here with P-Ryan. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
The play fake. Here's Brissett. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Olivier Vernon in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10. Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively. Pressure coming off that right side from the DN.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well. And that's
looking for his tight end read, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 40. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
And he'll take this one down to the 36. A gain of 3, second down.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Let's go now.
Second down, Winston. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. These strong safeties, some people may not realize it. It's really like an extra linebacker, right?
It really is, because they're hybrids. Half linebacker, half defensive back. The linebacker in him on that play emerged.
Third and long for Winston. He finds Beckham complete. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. A gain of 26 on the third down conversion.
And that was a heck of a shot right there by Jameis Winston. Boy, he has a superior right arm, doesn't he? You saw him play baseball.
Yeah, he's actually a switch hitter in baseball. Outfielder, and then, of course, a very hard-throwing pitcher. That's translated well in the National Football League. And he hauls it in for the Buccaneer touchdown. Mike Evans with his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Bucs offense continuing to pour it on. And that was really just a great battle for that football on both sides. The result is a touchdown.
Ordinarily, I'd like to say it was a win-win, but it really wasn't, because the defender, while he was there with excellent coverage, he didn't get the benefit, did he?
But he's not going to get chewed up in film session, will
No,
he?
he was right there. They'll tell him, okay, of course you need to knock the ball away, but they won't be too upset with him. He did his job for the most part.
That's fielded in the end zone. And heavy contact. He is knocked down hard at the 24-yard line. Out comes the Redskin offense now as they get set to begin another possession. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think he might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working.
Watch time. Tight end right. Let's go. Brand 38.
Now a carry for Pirine. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball, because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Now Brissett, and he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
He'll return it from the 6. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Mike Evans and the rest of the offensive unit heading back out there now. Not a bad day at the office there. Maybe he would like the catch number to go up a little bit, but I think most guys would say 2 catches, 2 touchdowns. That's okay.
I think if the catch number goes up, we start talking about the record books, because at that pace, this type of efficiency, oh, yeah, I think I'd throw it to him a little bit more often.
He's going to loft one deep left side here, and it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot. Help force the incompletion.
Yeah, but had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. They'll run it now out of the gun. And good yardage as he gets this one up to about the 23. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Jameis to throw it. Out to the left there and complete to Howard. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to pick up a first down.
Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10.
Watch tight end. Watch tight end. Tight end's right. Tight end's right.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
You know how we get focused at end of the half and into the game situations about how much time's on the board and, you know, what you need to do? Sometimes you don't even have to worry about that. That's just smart football. You know, that kind of a lead, staying in bounds, it burns clock, even in a situation that we're not really focused on it.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
On 1st and 10, Winston. Dancing to his left. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at FedEx Field. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair.
Ready? Hey. 4 down.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10 to the 7. That good for 22 and a first down.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
They'll run with Smallwood. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Wendell Smallwood, his first touchdown of the new season. And this Buccaneer offense, they're running away with this one. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try. Try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
To throw, Brissett. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
The Redskins on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 9.
Here we go.
Out of the gun, Brissett. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete. Certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And, Charles, in a very one-sided affair, I think we reached the point in the broadcast where you and I, we may have some filling to do, right?
Yeah, I think you're right about that because we got to try and keep people around. We don't want them to change the channel. Stay with us in this game. Is that Ben Ramsauer? Are you hearing from Ben on the headset here? Tell us, stretch this thing out a little bit.
Get some talking points. Dig them all out.
That's what you get. A big-time producer. Keep them here.
And he'll be brought down here at the 28. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Brandon, it's all about pace and tempo now for them. They've got the advantage, so I'm going to put musical terms for you. You don't want to go prestissimo. That's too quick, too lively, right? But you also don't want to slow it down too much. You don't want to go lento. What you really want to be is moderato. Nice and even, nice and steady, get those gains, and close out the game.
I think that chicken parm from last night's gone to your head. Give him 30 yards there. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little game. Now we're going to get a timeout. Appears we've got an injured Buccaneer. We'll check on his status when we get back. He'll drop to throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They'll set up to throw. Escaping the pressure right. That is caught at the 7. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10 to the 7. 23 yards on the play. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and
put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. A good run of 6 yards there. Gets him closer to the goal line with second down coming up.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. They'll look to throw for it on 3rd and 1. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. Got to be feeling confident they're going to get off the schneid. An old coach told me he calls this a relief win. 0-3 would have been bad. You get to 1-2, you feel a lot better, don't you?
That is so true, and you feel better about yourself. You think to yourself, okay, we're still in the playoff hunt. We're not out of it at 0-3. But the other part, too, it leads to doubt about your system, leads to doubt about your coaches. They don't have to worry about that now. They can move forward.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And here come the Redskins now. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
No gain there on the completion. 2nd and 10.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
Brissett. That'll go as a loss of 5. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. The Redskins on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This will be 3rd and 15. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Redskin football here as we welcome you back. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. From the shotgun, it's Brissett. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get him the football.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. They'll run it now out of the gun, and he'll power his way up near the 25. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on 1st down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
They're going to look to throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. At 5 yards on the play there, as the drive will continue.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
Now a handoff here to his running back. Powers over it.
Fed him his pads, didn't he?
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
Well, I'd say that run's pretty emblematic of what we've seen all day long. No matter what they've done on offense, this offensive line has controlled the line of scrimmage, given them time to throw it, run it, do whatever they wanted. That's why there are points up on the board. And right now, the psyche of the offense, we're in control, and we can do whatever we feel like doing out here on the field.
12 more yards there and another 1st down.
That's another nice run, and I have to tell you, some of the coaches that I played for, their philosophies were always different when they see a guy running the ball well. Some of them wanted to immediately go to play action and throw it now because it's wide open. Well, other coaches said, you know something? Until they stop him, that big boy's going to keep getting the football. And that might be the direction that they're going to go right now.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
On second down, Smallwood. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9. I don't want to overhype it, but this is a big early season